Now we have an application problem. So a lot of times the numeric expressions and equations don't just walk around the street and waiting for us to solve them. We have to pull information from data that we have or a situation that we're trying to solve, a problem that we're trying to solve. Sometimes we refer to this as problem solving. When I was a kid, they called them story problems because they think that was supposed to sound better. Or sometimes you'll hear them referred to as word problems. But anyway, there's some steps we'll go over, but first let's look at this first one. The temperature in Anchorage, see, you got to read it and try to figure out what's going on. The temperature in Anchorage, Alaska one morning was 15 degrees. Okay, now I can write that down, 15 degrees. That's probably going to be important to me. By mid-afternoon, the temperature had dropped to 30 degrees below zero. Okay, so it was at 15, and now it's going to be negative 30 degrees, right? It's going to be below zero, so negative 30 degrees. What was the difference in the morning and afternoon temperatures? So here is the morning temp, and here's the afternoon temp. Okay, and they want to know the difference. So the question comes right here. What's the difference, meaning subtraction, between, and then the morning, so we're going to put the 15 first, and the afternoon. So 15 minus negative 30. Now remember, there's one subtraction. The subtraction sign comes from difference. That means subtract. But the afternoon temperature was a negative 30. So that's why we have that minus a minus. So what's the difference in the morning and the afternoon? 15, I'm going to write this a little better, minus a negative 30, or 15 plus, because we're going to change it to adding the opposite. And so 45 degrees. Now, they mentioned writing a complete sentence. A lot of textbooks will just accept that you got the answer 45 degrees. We do want a unit here. It's not $45 or 45 minutes. It's a temperature. It's relating to temperature, so you should put the degree symbol. But you could say something like, the morning temperature was 45 degrees warmer than the afternoon temperature, something like that. Or you could just simply say the difference between the morning and afternoon temperatures was 45 degrees, something like that. Okay, so here are the steps for application problems. You have to read the problem, and a lot of times you have to read it more than once. So sometimes it's tempting to just read the problem and say, oh, I don't get it, but you have to go back in and start pulling information out. So you want to identify the variable. This one, I didn't use an X or an A. I just used the numbers that I had. But I could have said, well, X represents the difference or something like that. It says you want to write a phrase. Kind of what here is what I was doing when I was writing a phrase. I said, okay, I've got 15 degree temperature in the morning, and I've got a negative 30 temperature in the afternoon. And that was kind of how I got started. But eventually, you have to get the expression written, and that was right there. We said 15, they wanted to find the difference, 15 minus negative 30. You simplify it, and then you answer the question. Okay, so these steps are in the book. You can look at them. You may find it, you want to tweak it a little bit or something, and as we do more of these problems, we'll get used to some of these ideas.